Our control arm has snapped off of its mounting points, but it sounds good. Oh shit, I cut the wrong thing. Yeah, just kidding. What do you think this is, Goon Squad? Alright guys, so first things first with Mclaren 600 LT here. We're about to start diving in and working on it. Ever since I saw this car at auction and the wheels started turning about if I could buy this thing, if I could fix this thing, you know, I'm a diagnostic calibration programming but kind of specialist. I mean, that's one of the things that one of the major things I do, and understand very well on vehicles. So it came in my head, I'm like, I wonder if my good old trusty Autel scanner could scan this McLaren. But I'm excited to see if the good old trusty Autel is going to communicate with the car. So let's hop in here and see. I'm going to go into diagnostics, auto detect, moment of truth, and we are scanning. So we will see if it automatically reads the VIN. So we're in. We got a bunch of modules here. ECM, powertrain and chassis control, electronic stability control, occupant restraint, all your standard stuff. We cleared them all. All right, now let's start this bad girl up. I'm only assuming you can hear me over the cold start of the 600 LT behind me, but we got the full scan done, and it successfully cleared all of those. Of course, it's coming off its cold start live right now. So we cleared all the codes in scan only. So the next process is to at least start the car, let it go through its cold start phase, let everything get warmed up, let all the modules communicate with each other, sensors, everything, of course, when they're not driving. And yeah, so we're gonna let it do that, just chill for a little bit, and maybe I'll start taking the wheel off. And then we're gonna rescan the car and see if any of those codes pop back up. That way we know that it's a persistent code that is an issue that does need to be addressed, not necessarily related to a low voltage scan. So that about wraps up the scanning of the vehicle for now. We'll dive in deeper if necessary in the future. If not, I'm just wasting time. So let's hop into the suspension.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's good. Ready? That's all I need. Alrighty, I'm going to give you guys a close-up view of the majority of the damage to our McLaren 600 LT here. As you can see, we have some suspension damage. That wheel is set way back. Our control arm has snapped off of its mounting points, but fortunately, we have preserved the carbon tub for the most part here. You can see it scratched the tub right here a little bit. It is totally cosmetic damage, but if this car needs to be made perfect again, how are you going to repair that? No, there's not much of a reasonable way to do so, right? So from that standpoint, you could justify replacing the entire tub of the car from that little nick. That's our upper control arm that is just freaking pressed. Look at how it's bent up over here in the corner. That is supposed to be straight, 100%, and it is pretzeled. So our strut is a major cost in this. I believe from McLaren list price on that bad boy was like above $4,000. I found a used one that actually has a little damage on it. So, you know, this one looks fine, other than it's not sitting angled properly. It's kicked back like this because the whole suspension is. So I'm hoping up here swivels a little bit, and that when we take all this apart, this will realign and we'll be able to use our strut. That is pretty much the extent of the damage as far as the suspension and tub and all that kind of stuff goes. I've almost completely ruled out structural damage on this car, which I'm really excited about. We're gonna hop into the suspension here. So first things first here, we need to remove the caliper from the rotor, hang it safely off to the side so that we can get the rotor off and continue going down the line there. I want to be real careful with this carbon ceramic rotor. These things are not cheap. So maybe one of my catchphrases, the right tool for the right fool. I don't know what that's all about, but they're not stripped and they don't have Loctite. They're just tight as. There's some more editing for Jake. Can you give me a bungee cord, Jake? You tell him, Jake.
What's up, guys? Jake here. The reason that he's hanging the caliper by a bungee cord is because you don't want it to hang by the brake line. If you don't want to fray it or break it or anything, they're fragile, so you don't want to mess them up.
You're looking good here. And my dumbass should have done this. No, we're good. She wants to come off. Usually these things are seats on. Right. That is a freaking rotor. Tell me, guys, would that make a badass clock or what? Check that out. That's badass. I'm so used to seeing metal rotors with this carbon ceramic. What is something else? This is our hub. And it sounds good. Feels good, but after a hit like that, you just never know with one of these. I'm probably going to replace it with a brand new one from Mclaren. Just to be sure, because when it goes, it goes. It makes a bunch of noise. The car's not drivable. Even though it doesn't have a front axle, it's still probably the best bet to do so. All right, guys, so my plan of action here, now that we have the brake stuff out of the way, is to remove the upper control arm from the knuckle here. Like I said, I believe this knuckle to be in good condition. That is to be determined once we get it off. The hub, though, for the time being, it's going to stay until I get all the other suspension sorted out, and it'll probably take a while to get from Mclaren. But I'm hoping that I can remove the upper control arm and the lower control arm from the hub, get the hub out of the way, so I can access the upper and lower control arm at their mounting points up there. So the knuckle is not separating from the upper control arm due to the upper control arm being so twisted and having so much tension under it. So I'm going to switch plans a little bit, and I'm going to disconnect the upper control arm from its mounting point on the carbon tub frame rail area back here. That way we should get a little bit of wiggle room out there and should be able to separate it from the knuckle. Guys, a quick shout out again to our sponsor in Showtime Collision for letting us use the facility after hours. Very appreciative of doing that. All of these videos are filmed after hours. All of the videos are edited after hours. We both work full-time daily jobs running operations at the collision center and have our side hustles going as well. So everything you see is done after hours. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you turning on your notifications. Appreciate the comments, even the bad ones. And we appreciate the likes on our videos. So please share this stuff up. Enjoy it. Tell us what you want to see more of. Informative, entertainment, you name it. We're trying, guys. We're trying. Tight fit back there, but hey, the right tool for the right fool. Shout out to Johnson Tools. You mother. Richie, I know you're watching this. I got a beer in one hand and your dick in the other, watching me wrench on cars with the tools I spent all my hard-earned money on from you. Better be on your TV because I'm filming it in 4K, Richie.
It's going in there.
Oh,
I'm just gonna have to bleep everything.
Alrighty, guys. So I found a little bit of something here. This wheel speed sensor that plugs in here and bolts in here. It's not really a big deal, but it was pinched between the upper control arm and the knuckle right here due to everything being bent. That being said, the wire inside, the sheathing inside actually looks fine. It didn't even go down to bare wire.
It's not wide enough.
Guys, if you have made it this far in the video, I know that we would really appreciate a subscribe to the channel. or a share. We're putting our heart and soul into this stuff, and if you're getting enough value to watch this much of the video, really appreciate you becoming part of the crew here. So yeah, hit that button. Alrighty guys, so that is our target bolt right there. The front mounting points for the lower control arm are busted off, and the rear ones are still intact, both of them. So we get underneath the car and give you guys a little point of view here of how we're gonna get this off. And I'm really hopeful that I can find somebody with some torque information. Okay, so now, in order to get this off, it appears we're gonna have to do some slicing and dicing. Oh, I cut the wrong thing. Yeah, just kidding. What do you think this is, Goon Squad? Hey, my helpers! Is Luna coming to help too? Yes. Here, let's put the cat up here. Need a hammer.
Yeah. Can I help you with the hammer?
Yeah, where's my hammer? There it is. Right there, down low.
Here?
Yep, gotta bang it out. Get it out of the way. Okay, good job.
Good job, Daddy.
Thank you. Look at that.
Can I touch it?
What? Yeah. Fomoco.
What is that?
Huh?
Do you need replacement?
No.
What is that? What is
That tells me the whole rack and pinion probably is. Go ahead.
Huh?
Alrighty, so we officially got the suspension out of here. We're going to work on separating the upper and lower control arm from the hub. And I'm going to pop this strut out of here because it seems like it's kind of okay, but I definitely can tell that there's a washer on top that's bent. And I'm not sure if that's allowing a little bit of play in the situation or if this top mount can be bought separately, so I'm going to have to look into that stuff. We don't have much room to work with because I have this hydraulic line running to it, but I just wanted to get it off. Might have to do some investigation on the other side to see how this is all supposed to feel and look while we determine if this strut is usable or not. But if you can see right here, we have this upper mount that mounts to this, let's call it the strut tower that's behind here. But you know, we have our whole strut unit here, and we have this top mount, and you can see how loose this thing is. Now I could tell when this thing was hit that this was all cockeyed like this. And my hope was that when I brought this back it would swivel back to straight, which it does. But you see the top washer right here. You see how bent it is? And I'm thinking if I get this nut off here and replace this washer and nut combination, that we might just be okay here. Alright, so we got our strut top hat off. Best news of the night so far. This is what I would consider to be called the top hat for the strut. And you saw us taking it off in there, and I was hopeful that this was the reason that the strut had some slop in it. And fortunately, thank the exotic car gods, that's all that's wrong is the top hat. And thank them again, I went and looked on the computer, and this is available separately from the strut. It is about the only piece available separately from the strut. You can't buy just the spring, you can't buy just the strut. You have to buy the entire strut if something's wrong with it. So as I mentioned, guys, we are not concerned about the upper lower control arm threads here. We're just trying to separate them from our knuckle, and we do care about the knuckle. So, like that. Yes, sir. Now you have more adjustment cams here. So that stuff, we're gonna have to pay attention to that. I'm gonna go to the line and put this back together for sure. This one pushed the whole thing out. Alrighty, you guys, that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. Got everything organized. I got one bin going for parts that are gonna be replaced coming in. One bin going for parts that we've taken off and are keeping. You can see here, as I explained earlier, our hardware tray for the suspension. So just a really nice way to stay neat and organized and thorough and labeled everything. With that, we are going to say goodnight. It is, my watch is dead, that's how late it is. That's going to wrap it up for the suspension teardown video. We will get into repair and replacement on the suspension in one of the next videos. And yeah, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please, guys. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.